podcast. Its purpose is to provide thought-provoking dialogue with a slighted perspective. Here we encourage influential conversations. Give us a listen, like and share. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Welcome to CEO and the Doctor.
Yo, what's good, my boys? Happy Father's Day. How y'all doing?
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all my brothers.
Yes, sir. So I hate that everybody couldn't get on, but it would have been chaos anyway. But it's all good. Glad I got everybody over here. So, of course, I'm CEO. That's the doctor. We got my boy Will. We got Gino. We got my boy Clink. Happy to have y'all, man. How y'all living today?
Great.
Good.
It's a good day. Yep. Living it up. You know what I'm saying?
What's the plans? Y'all got plans today?
Man, I'm standing.
I got one dinner. I got one dinner to go to.
Right.
Yo, nigga.
It's hot.
Ashley cooking for me tonight, so yeah. Got the wife cooking tonight. You know, it's 150 degrees out here in Arizona, so I ain't going
just
nowhere.
dumb. Yeah, my sister's here in town, so we're gonna make some pizzas in a little while before it get too hot outside. I gotta run my oven at like 425, so I ain't trying to like bake my house out.
I feel that.
Why don't you just bake it outside, Proc? You don't even need your
Pretty much.
Throw that shit on the ground.
Hell yeah, it's that
I was
hot.
about to say.
It's that hot. It's just stupid out
Put
here.
a moon of foil on the ground. Put a moon of foil on the ground.
Shit, me and
I
T
hate
went out
living
last
here in the
night. It
summertime.
was fun. We tried that place you showed me about. It's called Player One. Shit's pretty dope, man. Cool little atmosphere. Then we went and had some hookah, shit like that. So it was a cool night. I think she's cooking tonight. I don't know what, but I'll be surprised when it come through.
Okay.
Got my Father's Day gifts displayed. I got some Green Label and a couple cigars. So you know we got our nearest. Everybody got their nearest. You got your nearest. Out here on an empty stomach. Fucking around with nearest. About to be sick as hell and dehydrated.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we
that
got-
water, baby.
Hey,
Clint got that gasoline, that 100 proof.
Nah, cause whatever I had to cut
Hey,
this shit,
man.
drop it in the water and like it was scotch. This shit is tough, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, it's probably the smoothest shit
I
I've
had
ever
smooth
drank.
in the mud.
It's nice and smooth. Yeah.
And if you don't know about Uncle Nearest, so the story goes that he had a lot to do with, what's the buddy name? Goddamn,
Jack Daniels.
Yeah,
Jack
the whole Jack
Daniels.
Daniels story. I guess is somewhat rooted in Uncle Nearest's story. So I think it's is it his great granddaughter or somebody that runs the distillery.
Yeah.
And doing her thing. Yeah. So I remember you guys posted something about it. It's been months now, but yeah, it's a great little narrative about what's going on. So with them trying to get his name out, get his story out through this alcohol. So we all had to support, man. I was able to find a bottle. So it's not
First
bad.
black distiller in the United States.
That's pretty dope in itself, man.
Yeah.
So shit, first before we even get into Father's Day, man, like gotta get everybody's perspective on. Of course, yesterday was Juneteenth, but now it's a federal holiday. So what's y'all perspectives on that? Like you can just go around the room, man.
Well, look, that's the fastest shit I've ever seen happen, man. I didn't even know they was voting on that shit. And then the next thing you know, hey, Juneteenth's a federal holiday. I'm like, they want us to shut the fuck up.
What?
They want us to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Bro,
All right.
like,
Nothing's done about police reform,
right.
the legal system. Nothing's done about qualified immunity. Nothing's done about reparations. Nothing done about voters' rights.
Yeah.
But, and the effort that they're
We ain't gonna never get
through
reparations.
to
So
keep-
you can give it
to
that.
keep CRT from being taught in schools is insane. It speaks completely opposite of Juneteenth. Hey, we have a new federal holiday, but we're not going to teach you why.
Exactly.
Yeah, first since Martin Luther King Day, 1983. So, new holiday. And this is wild, of course, we got to take it light here, but it's not as like it's our day where we the only ones to get off. It's a federal holiday. Everybody getting the fuck off, right? Yeah. So, there's jokes going around about that. Like people thinking that black people should get off and white people should still work. That's kind of fucked up. But ultimately,
with the motherfuckers in the field. No,
our day is an everybody day.
Like you said, all jokes aside,
birthday day.
We've been working since they brought us over here. You know what I mean?
So we got a month and a day now. About some months.
Slowly but surely.
We got 29. Well, we got 29 days. Yeah.
See, but my thing is, man, like what boggles my mind about the whole, them making it a federal holiday is, I was on Clubhouse the other day, actually a couple of days ago, and I didn't know how many people didn't know about Juneteenth to begin with. Like I've been knowing about it since I was probably about 6-7 years old. Like
seriously, I can't front. I didn't know about Juneteenth until about like 5 years ago. To be clear.
Yeah. Oh, same for me. It wasn't anything prevalent, and obviously we don't learn about it in school.
Nah.
Yeah, Juneteenth was big back in Milwaukee, man. Like we always had, marches and stuff down MLK Boulevard, all that. Like I've been knowing about Juneteenth for years.
I think I knew about it too because for the longest we had Indiana Black Expo, and that usually kicks off like in the June month. So it was always talked about. So I knew about it as a kid, but was it celebrated? No, it was more a conversation that my grandparents would basically have. And then, of course, because we were known for Black Expo, it would be brought up there. Celebration of the colors, that type of thing.
Yeah, we had Afro Fest, what I'm saying? Like I said, I used to always be down in Indianapolis for all their festivals and stuff, with the YMCA and stuff. So I knew about all that stuff. And then, of course, I knew even more about it, when I went to Ghana in 2001, visited W.E.B. Du Bois' house and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's
traveled.
I know, right? Africa.
Y'all know that. I told y'all that story.
It's just sound different, like hearing it again. Like this would have been the fucking Africa.
Hold on. You need to qualify that statement. You did that before you even came in the military.
Yeah, I did that before I even went in the military. That was when I was 17. 17
years old. We ain't traveling nowhere unless Uncle Sam paid for that ticket.
Look, man, I remember it like it was yesterday. The YMCA, they was paying for up to 20 teams to go to Ghana. Only 2 of us ended up going. Why? Because a lot of the parents were like, I don't want my baby going all the way over there. Like, first off, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity that your child is probably never ever going to get. Man, I went home and told my grandma. She was like, "Do I got to pay for it?" I was like, "No." She was like, "Hell yeah, you can go."
Grandma.
Hey, how much did you say?
Grandma, like I get a break from this motherfucker.
$3.99.
All in total, the trip probably was like $3,500. That included airfare, all the hotels we stayed at, and all that.
That's dumb.
And we were out there, like I said, that was 2001 when they was filming Ali. So I met Will Smith while I was out there, Jamie Foxx while I was out there, like all that. So
how long was
that experience, man? I was out there for 2 weeks. I had my 18th birthday and everything out there.
Wow, that's cool in a bitch, man. Now that's the story right there, bro. That's cool.
I remember it like it was yesterday. Look, I went with $200. That $200 lasted me the whole entire 2 weeks. I was living like a king out there off $200.
And that's yesteryear, man.
That's yesteryear. So just imagine what it is. You know what I'm saying now? Like, I went through the whole bartering system. I traded clothes for trinkets and wood carvings and stuff. My grandma still got all that stuff. I gotta go get it from her.
Wow.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, it is.
So that's special, man. That's something. God damn, Manny, would you chill? Shit. That's something you're gonna be able to tell Layla one day, as she understands, like where that is and where we are, and how many years ago during that time that it's been, the importance of that, the significance of that.
Man,
everybody wants to go back to the motherland at some point. I feel like I do, at least.
Take that trip, bro. Take your family
or something. I think my roots. I have to look at the ancestry.com. My sister got it. I'm pretty sure ours is primarily Nigeria, shit like that. So I would definitely love to go back or not go back, but to go there and see, just like what the country looks like. Real shit, man. So for me, this morning I had love my father to death. I was telling P, bro, like we just we just in two different time periods. My father has his philosophy on things. I have my philosophy on things. And sometimes that stuff get kind of heated. So we had a Father's Day little tiff. It wasn't too awful, but it's common practice, man, between me and him. Love him to death, but I'm just like, Pops, you stuck in a time period, bro. Like, got to see the world in a different light. I didn't live through what he lived through, so I mean that's trauma, right? So it is what it is on that. I'll just leave that there, man. But hey, we got another holiday, man. So anyway, rolling into our Father's Day special. I guess I can go ahead and cue that. Is this it, P? There it is. Now we can have some fun, man. So the old dad.
Magic.
Old dad in the room with the grown-up.
Yeah, man.
We'll start with you, man. So being a father, bro, I would ask, like, what are your fondest moments of being a father, and what advice do you have to even us or brand new fathers in your journey? Because what is Rachel? She's 26.
She's 30. She's
30.
30.
Goddamn,
Yeah.
age, Rachel. You said it, not me. Sorry, niece. Your daddy called you out.
Now, man, you know what's crazy? You know, you think at birth, wow, this is it. You know, and all of you guys can attest that moment that you held your any of your kids. It's like your life changes, and you think that's quite possibly the pinnacle of what you will be as a parent that very first time. But it's not. It's not. It's every moment that you have with your child, man. And I know it's easy to think that, well, shit, I see these little motherfuckers every day. They drive me crazy, all this other shit. And they will. They do all the time. But the thing is, what I found through reflection is all those moments, for one, you can't get them back. So when you have them, you better take advantage of them. Don't think that, well, tomorrow will be tomorrow. You better take advantage of those moments when you got them. Definitely love them when you love them, because a lot of time you're going to hate them because they lose shits. that's just the natural course of being a parent. But the proudest moments for me are, you know, I can have adult conversations with my son, and he teaches me things. I can have adult conversations with my daughter. She teaches me things. And the realization that as I get older and wiser, they too get wiser and they're able to teach me things, you know, and I appreciate being able to see this world through their eyes. And I know I'm not always right, no matter how much I want to be. And I think the biggest lesson, the biggest takeaway that I could take, you know, if I could give anything to any parent, learn how to be human with your children. Learn how to be humble with your children. Learn how to admit when you fuck up, because we as parents, we're not perfect, you know. And I would say, if nothing else,
I'm sorry.
It's given me a better foundation of trust with my kids, because hey, look, I fucked it up. My bad. I'm sorry. You know, because I don't know that. No, I can say with certainty, I didn't get that from my mom. You know, my dad passed away early, but I never got that. Hey, I didn't do everything right, and I'm sorry. I tried. Right? You know, that kind of thing. Show, hey, it's okay to apologize. It's okay to be human. So yeah, the proudest moments, I would say every second that I've been able to do with my kids, it made me laugh, cry, pissed me off, whatever, because they're all part. All of those things are part of their growth process, and our growth process is fathers.
Word, that's deep. All right, Gino, I'm gonna go to you, man, because you got all boys, so I want to hear your story with having 3 boys.
3 boys, man. All I can say is, you know, you want to lead, since you know, I'm a man, and I understand them because they're little boys. They're growing to young men and then potentially men. Well, not potentially, but yeah, men. But anyway, having all boys, you want to try to lead by example. You know what I'm saying? And you have to, like Proc says, you can't be you can't be scared to say, you know, I fuck up. You ask for help. Reach out to brothers, friends, mentors, whatever you have to do, you know, to get different aspects of how to do this thing called parenting, man. Because like Proc said, this shit ain't easy, man. You know, so it takes some time and it takes some growing into.
Three boys, three different personalities.
Totally different personalities, man. They got the oldest, who's a recluse. You know, he likes to do his own thing. He's like a introvert. You got the middle child who's introverted and extroverted. So, you know, he's playing on both. He does his own thing. And then you got the youngest, Trey Brown, who's extroverted, the epitome of that word. You know what I'm saying? So so you just gotta handle each one the way they understand, man. So you have to really, I'm not gonna say like, you know what I'm saying, be one of them helicopter parents, but you know, you just gotta stay on them and really learn each child's personality and how they react to certain things in order to teach them. You know,
be mad flexible.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, Clink, I'm gonna go to you, man, because you constantly be reaching out and posting your little girl growing up and you saying, look, y'all help, because she's becoming a young lady. So how's that been? What's that journey like?
Man, that's that's crazy, man. Because y'all know I'm separated from the wifey, so like have to do it over the phone, or I pop up over there when I want to. So just her talking about her day and her drama with her little friends, I'm like, man, forget them little girls. I'm like, be a leader. Like, don't be a follower, be a leader.
Yeah.
Like, don't follow behind nobody. And she's good though. She's mostly a follower because if you go to her school, it's always teachers know her. Like walk down the hall, she got a crowd around her. I'm like, so if you got that type of power, since you've been in school, you know, just use that. Like lead by example. And I was looking at a post the other day on Facebook where it said that she didn't what said that she wasn't beautiful, or she wasn't smart, something like that. And I say, don't ever be ashamed to be smart. I like be smart. I like make that cool because I call her nerd every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's about to call her nerd. It's like that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny, man, because now like she's growing up and she's thicker than all her little skinny friends. And so like when I posted a basketball picture in the group the other day, she's like, I don't like my picture. I'm like, why? I'm chubby. I said, first of all, you hang on a bunch of bean posts. Nobody wants to. Nobody want no skinny little girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, don't feel bad because you thicker than all these other girls. I'm like, they gonna get thick too, but you just thick now. I was like, and say you're beautiful. I'm like, what are you tripping about? I said, don't ever think you're not beautiful. Like, forget that. I'm like, they ugly. You're beautiful. Keep it like that.
I went through that stage too with Jazzy because she was a chunker. She hated everything about herself. Then she started filling out, and before you know it, it was like I can't even keep up. And now she almost 18 years old, and you know, she catching hate now because all the other little girls' boyfriends got their eyes on her and that type of shit. So she's dealing with that type of drama. So it comes and goes quickly, man. So I've been where you've been. I've been like slow down, be my little girl.
Yeah, but right now, like she's playing sports and stuff, so she's real competitive. Like I'm like Kenzie, like calm down. She's like she get that from you. I was like, well, you know, it is what it is. But she's ultra competitive, man, and you know, I'm just happy that she's doing something other than she's still on her phone 24/7. But when she playing the game, she all in because now she diving for balls and all that stuff. I'm like, quit doing that. I was like, well, don't quit, but I'm like, you got to die for everything. But she's doing good, man. I'm real proud of her for that. So
that's what's up.
I'm just seeing stuff on Facebook, like old pictures. I'm like, man, it's wild.
Yeah, that's how it go, man. It go quick, real shit. Hey, Will, I'm gonna bring you in. You the newest father, so I mean, even though now Layla been around here a minute, he's getting older, but you the newest of the father. So you tell us what's your experience been like.
Man, it's been an amazing experience, man. Just, you know, seeing her grow into her character and everything. It's kind of scary because, you know, it seems like she's growing up too fast, man. Like she's 5 going on 15, and it's
yeah. I can't believe she's 5. Shit.
Yeah, she'll be 6 at the end of the year. But yeah, 5 going on 15, man, and every day is something different, man. Every day is something new. She's very adventurous. She scares me because she's fearless. And it's to the point where it's like, yo, I need you to have some fear in yourself. Like, I mean, other than, you know, things that little girls would probably be afraid of, like flies. Like that's one thing that I saw a post. One of our friends posted the other day on Facebook that her daughter is terrified of flies. I'm like, well, I'm glad that my daughter's not the only one. Like, I don't know what it is about flies, but she freaks out and she's like full on tears, man. And but with Layla, it has taught me. Y'all know throughout my military career, I was a very impatient person. Like,
I'm still
I'm still impatient, but it's not as bad as it used to be. So Layla's kind of helped me work on my patience and everything. So I'm very appreciative of that. But yeah, it's been a journey, man. Being a new father. I had some great examples to go by, especially you Clyde early on. When I first met you, Jasmine was still young, so that learning from seeing you with her and how you interacted with her when she was younger. Kind of helped me out. With my progress and where I'm at with Layla now. So
appreciate that.
It's been an experience, man. Like girls are something else. You just gotta have that patience and everything with them. So that's what I'm grateful for all that. It's been being a father is a blessing, man. It's something I wouldn't trade it in for the world.
Word.
So
go ahead, P. Go jump in.
I'm sorry. And so as the resident old guy with the oldest daughter, my biggest mistake was not listening to her. And Clyde, where Jazz is, she's at that age when she really needs you to listen to her. Well, soon enough, she's gonna be at that age before Layla's gonna be like going through all of her social stuff. Clink, you're in the same place, going through all the social stuff with her girlfriends, and they're looking at boys different, boys looking at them different. I mean, all the hormonal stuff is kicking in and stuff. I went to a safe place. Do what I tell you to do. Do what I tell you to do. I didn't ask my daughter what was going on in her life. Yeah. And, I know I created problems for myself as a father. And by not listening to her, or not even trying to talk to her and listen to her, what was going on in her world, I probably created problems for her because she didn't feel like I was a safe space to come to talk. So not that she rebelled, she just went to a safe place for her. So fellas, hindsight 2020, resist that fatherly, I need to hover, protect, grab you, and keep you safe. They're going to fall. They're going to scrape their knee. It's just a different level of falling and scraping as they get teenagers and older. But be there to pick them up and listen to them. How did this happen? Why did it happen? What are you going through? What can I do? Yeah. Resist that fatherly thing. Sit down, be quiet, do what I tell you to do. Resist that because it's detrimental to your relationship with your daughter.
Yeah, and that goes along with what I was saying too. My bad, CO, but you can apply that to young boys too, man. Because I had to break out of the habit of, I love my father to death, and I learned by his examples of what I wasn't going to do and stuff like that. Yeah. So I have to consciously think about that when it comes down for me to be a parent to mine, to, like you said, Proc, listen instead of just react first, you know what I'm saying? So, I
went there too, man, because
I know with me.
Oh, go ahead, Clink, my bad. I think you got like a half second delay on us. Go ahead. Go.
I know with me, like, I know with Kenzie, like, I know she's not boy crazy, but there are some boys that like her. And her mom and her friend got a joke that they call them shoot 'em up, bang, bang. I tell her, I say, any boy that like you is pretty much going to be buried alive somewhere that you can find her. So, so that's what I tell her. But I'm like Kenzie. I said, I already know how it is. I say, when I was a boy, I was out there way before y'all was. So I'm like, I was doing stuff that you wouldn't even know about. But I'm like, that's why I don't trust the boys because I was one. So I'm like, but these dudes now, I don't see a little slower, but the girls are faster now. You know what I'm saying? With all the social media and stuff like that. So I said, I know you're going to kiss a boy. It's going to happen like because you're pretty and it's just happening. I say, I want to know about it. I don't want to know about it, but I want to know about it. She's like, why are you going to kill him? I'm like, that's to be determined. I'm like, we don't know yet, but it's to be determined. So I'm trying to brace myself by psyching myself out. Like, it's going to happen. I know, but I know how summertime is. And I know during the summer, moms go to work, all the parents go to work, the kids are home, and yeah. But
See,
her
you
mom
bring
was
up
home,
a
so I ain't
point.
worried about that.
Like Proc brought up a point. You bring up a point. So the first point to yours, Proc, like when you don't listen or you're overbearing, like even as a boy, I reverted to my mom because I couldn't talk to my father. I still hard to
Yeah.
talk to my dad today, as I told y'all.
Obviously.
And
Yeah.
going to Kling's point, you know what I'm saying? Like now I call it, and of course Kenzie's a little bit younger than Jazzy, but I call it age appropriate conversations. So for the most part, you know, in a
Yeah.
very appropriate manner, Jasmine knows my history. I felt that it was important to let her know, like you said, I was doing things based on my age and my mindset, and therefore I warned her all boys don't look the same. I wasn't super aggressive. I wasn't the boy that you would call a dog in high school. If anything, I was the one that was like looking and lurking in the fucking shadows, waiting on them to fuck up, and I swoop in like, oh shit.
My man.
See you
My
on
man.
the tall grass.
You need to be told she pretty. Let me jump in there. She need to be told this and that. Let me slide in there and do that for her. So I'd like, look, we come
That's
in
right.
all different forms. So in these age appropriate conversations, I call them, we probably started having them when she was like 14, 15. She almost 18 now. I
So
do
it's
my
about my
best.
time to start then.
Yeah, I do my best to be as open and honest as I can without getting too graphic. Like, I don't need to get graphic, but I'm like, look, in all due respect, when you're thinking about, you know, what's that sex and shit like, there's two sides of that story. I know you're gonna talk to your mother, so we can discuss certain things. So it's a hard conversation, but like Proc said, you gotta listen because if you hold on too tight, once she gets free of you, like she's an adult, shit, that boy,
She gonna rebel.
I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that
Hey,
conversation. I can tell you that right now.
Let them reins
Huh?
loose. I'm just
I mean, I mean, really, Kenzie is like a social butterfly. Kenzie goes out more than me and her mom do. I'm like, want to go here, want to go to skate ring, want to go to the mall. I was like, we used to go to the mall when I was your age, but we didn't have no parents and stuff with us because now you know all these shoots and all that stuff going on. So I'd be like, where Kenzie at? Oh, she at the mall. Wait, who? I'm like, we saw something. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, let me know so I could take them. I'll just be around. If something happened, I want to be there, but that's me being overprotective. But I like, I don't care. I ain't got but one kid, and that's all I plan on
Well,
having. So I'm like,
the times kind of dictate these kind of things. And, you know, since listening to you guys talk, one thing I forgot to mention that I think is probably more important as your kids get older, boys included, when they start to date and they're seeing, you know, they have that first crush or that love thing. Look, any criticism you have as a father, keep that shit to yourself because it will become a virtue to your child. It will become a virtue to your child. They will never see what you see in that girl or that boy that they're dating.
because you're a parent.
They don't want to see it. They don't want to see it. Oh, you just being dad. You being overprotective. You see the shit clear as day because you were that guy.
Yeah.
But they don't believe that you were that guy.
Yeah. That's
So
real. And that's why
resist the temptation to criticize. Resist it because all of those criticisms will become virtues to your child.
Yeah, that's why I said age appropriate conversation.
I try,
and
man.
I gave Jasmine her own book of mine that I wrote. I said, you need to read this. And I was like, because you're gonna find out a lot about your father in this book, especially when we talked about, you know, I talked about her mother and that relationship, and then now she's talking about, you know, her stepmother, with that being Tanisha. She was like, Dad, I really didn't know a lot of stuff. Hell, I didn't even know that technically I'm not your firstborn, you know, because I had that situation where I lost a child. Well, we end up having an abortion, but you know how that goes. So there's stuff that I wanted her to realize, like whatever you might see as the image, there's more to it. And I think if you open your mind to that, our relationship can grow because you'll trust in me. Like, okay, my father's a real person. He's had his own experiences, and I can read them. You know, he can actually tell me stories about them. So that's why that was important to me. But I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. I'm gonna pass it back to Gino, and I'm gonna say, this question for this round is, you know, what's the greatest thing or the biggest thing that you're trying to instill in your boys?
Wow, that's a good question. Just I don't know, just be in tune with their own emotions and feelings and stuff like that. You know, don't be and also don't be what society you think society wants. You know, don't be afraid to go against, you know, the norm. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
just be yourself and be the best person you can be, and just show respect when respect is due. You know, give respect
That's
when
real.
respect is due. Yeah, you know. So
I mean, I'm
disrespect.
talking to my two boys. It's confidence. That's just confidence, right? Like I tell Ace all the time because he's mad introverted. Like I'm like, bro, you always in the back and you look for protection. Like you shield yourself. Like, oh well, that's that's the starting quarterback or that's the starting linebacker, and they like me. I'm cool, so I'm good. I'm like, bro, you living in other people's shadow. You got to have confidence in yourself. And I ain't just talking sports. I'm talking about everything. And he's like, yeah, my grades are bad. Like, I feel like sometimes it just ain't meant for me. Like I'm just dumb or something like that. I'm like, bro, that's lack of confidence. I was like, we all are created in the ability to learn, unless God seemed fit to have you in a manner where, you have an ailment, but you don't. I was like, you got to apply yourself. And in applying and if you apply yourself appropriately, then that confidence will build. And that's in all things, but you can't just live in the back in the shadow. So I like that. Like you said, don't be afraid to be yourself. Like, period. Like, I don't care what nobody else is doing around you. You are you. And I try to get that through. Now, I don't think I had an issue with Jordan. Jordan confident shit. Jordan think he can do everything. Like, that boy think that he already in the MLB. And I'm like, you still getting coach pitch. Slow down. But, Ace on the other hand, Ace would be like, it ain't good enough. And I think that I played a role in that because when he was young, I think I pushed him too hard. And that's something as a father, like, you get too involved sometime or you want so much for your kids and you realize like, damn, I'm being overbearing. I never wanted to be that parent, but I became him and I had to humble myself. And when he started kind of slacking in certain areas, I was like, this is my doing. Like, I think that I think at a point in time, he felt like no matter what I do, it's not good enough. Like I scored touchdowns or whatever the hell be it. I made the honor roll for the first time. My dad want more. And I was like, shit, I need to peel it back. But, sometimes that damage is kind of done and you have to make amends. So I've had conversations with him, tears to tears. Like, look, man, I'm sorry. All right. I never wanted to put that much pressure on you. You fucking 15 years old. You shouldn't feel like every touchdown you score is life or death, So we had those conversations now. And I think our relationship's getting better. But Will's been knowing me the longest. Like me and Ace, we've been fucking since way back when. And Will and everybody else has played a role. His Uncle Joey. I can go on and on and on. They've helped me and molded me. Mike, that's another guy. They've helped me with my relationship with Ace because I've struggled mightily with Ace, man, just because, I just felt like he didn't get it sometimes. But that's something I have to be real about. Like fatherhood, like you mentioned, everybody mentioned, shit ain't easy. And sometimes you're ashamed of the shit that you've become. So I had that conversation with him about a year ago, and I'm trying my best to kind of peel some of that shit back so he can trust me because he's getting into that time as a young boy going into manhood. Like he needs to be able to trust his father. So
and he's going to definitely need you, and just think about his history, you're not his birth father.
Right.
So I could tell you from my experience, my dad was not there as I was growing up. It leaves a mark. Why doesn't he want me? Where is he at? So you as a child, these things, you see these things because your friends might have their parents there, but you're the one that doesn't have a dad around.
Yeah.
And you're like, is it me?
Yeah.
So that doubt creeps in, man. And you start to wonder about yourself. So, I applaud you for having the humility to find it in yourself to like, yo, I need to back off. I've done these things to kind of reinforce a lot of the stigmas that he's facing,
Absolutely.
And I need to undo these things. It's going to take a little bit of time and it takes consistency. Gino hit every mark on the head, man. That's everything that I've ever tried to do, especially with Brian. I made so many mistakes with Rachel because she's the first. She's 3 years older than Brian. So everything with Brian became a little bit easier because, okay, yeah, I fucked this up, I fucked that up, fuck this up, fuck that up, litany of fuck ups. I don't have to make these. I won't make these with my son now. And as a father, knowing all of my sordid past and everything that I did wrong, I don't want those things for him. So I told him something as far as relationships with women. I told him something a long time ago, and I think that this still applies. You respect women until they give you a reason to see them in a way that they don't respect themselves. Don't respect a woman who does not respect herself.
Okay.
Then you're putting her on a pedestal, and don't do that. So But you look at every woman, you see her for what she is. If she respects herself, you give her that respect that she's due. That's important. Um, don't see them as disposable objects the way that I have in my past. And that's wrong. I think it's important as a father to instill those values in my son. It's been important for me since he
Hell
was
yeah.
a young boy. I don't want him to walk around and have that. I know the stigmas and the feelings that I've always had about myself. What the fuck is wrong with me? Why am I so broken? Why do I see things the way that I do? We've had conversations ad nauseum about how growing up, some of us have viewed women, how disposable we've treated them. I don't want him to have that. I don't want him to see that, because there's value in every relationship, be it a good relationship or a bad one. Don't treat them as though they're all disposable and they mean nothing, because they leave a mark. Like you pointed out in your book, CO, they leave a mark. And the kind of mark they leave is solely up to your interactions with them. If you had bad interactions because of the things that you've done, you're going to carry the weight of that.
That's fact.
So I don't want him to live that kind of life. So that was my goal, and it's still my goal with him. I want to be that example with him and have these hard male to male conversations now. And for my daughter, I've always wanted her to have, somebody special in her life that accentuates everything that's positive about her, the great things about who she is as a person and now as a mother. She's still on that journey, but I think she's grown to the point where she knows more about who she is as a person, as a mother, as a woman, to where she can demand more from whoever she invites into her life. And that's all about that growth process, So, man, like at the beginning, man, parenting is hard, and it doesn't get any easier as they get older. You just have better conversations as they get older.
That's fact. Will, I'm gonna bring you back in, man, and I'm gonna throw the question to you. Like, what's the pressures of fatherhood? Since Layla's so young, what pressures were there initially, and what pressures made you feel going forward?
Man, being a girl dad, it's man, the pressures of just I can kind of say I really didn't feel pressured when Layla was born, because I worked with children pretty much my entire life. Like my first job, no, not first job, but I worked with kids for 3 years before I joined the military. Yeah, working at the YMCA, after school programs, and I predominantly work with 5 and 6 year olds, the younger kids, because I'm a high energy person, so why not spend that energy with the younger kids who got all the energy, whatever. But the difficult thing for me, knowing that hey, I got a daughter, was to like that kind of sat in the back of my mind heavily, because it's like I know what I did as a young man. The things that I did growing up, how I was as a young man. It's just like being a father and then being a husband, just trying to be the best example of what a man should be in her life for her, so she knows what to look for as she gets older.
That's fact.
And
go ahead. No, I was gonna say, I think, and two, being a girl dad, because that was my firstborn, like you want to be there so that you don't quote unquote have those daddy issue type situations. And the girl is like, she wants to be loved by any man. And so as they grow up, you find them, they put themselves in bad situations because they're missing that void. And I think I struggle with that because, when me and her mom split, she was still relatively young. She wasn't even 4 yet. And I've been that distant father. Now she has a stepfather, but she definitely knows who her dad is. But I made it my number one goal to be like, look, I'm your father. I'm in your life. I hate that the military puts separation between us, but I didn't abandon you, So that was a huge pressure for me. So I understand what you mean, just making sure like you cover the ground, because who you were. I know who I was, and it's not something to be proud of. And me and Ace were talking about that on Memorial Day. It's like, look, bro, I've put myself in a lot of spots where some woman out there dislikes me for what I did to her.
Oh yeah,
nothing fun about that. Don't be that dude. You know, like you're pure right now. You still got your virginity. I know people around you might be starting to lose theirs and that type of thing, but that ain't something you need to rush into. It ain't nothing to be proud about to have a body count. You know, because when you're young, it's cool, but like Proctor said, you carry that weight. You know what I mean? Carry that weight well into both marriages, fucking up marriages because of that weight. So going back, you know, to you and you having that ability to be there for your daughter every day, man, that's so important. You know, Clink, you too. I know that you're separated, but I see y'all relationship. You always with your daughter, and that's great. Y'all always riding, getting petties and shit together. Like that shit's important. You know what I'm saying? And when I was young, even now, I think I would be able to, but back then, like I don't see myself. I wasn't into the metro thing. I couldn't be next to my daughter getting my feet done. I was weird when I was in my 20s.
Hey, that's relaxing.
Hey, man.
That's good shit. Same with you though, too, man. I see you, Will, like you there for everything. You there teaching her how to swim. You know, you doing baking sessions and showing her how to make donuts and shit like that. Like those are things that I see from a distance, but I commend y'all on that because that's important. And they remember that shit and they don't get put into like roles like, oh, as I grow up as a girl, now I'm a woman, I'm supposed to do this. Like, nah, my dad did this with me. So this is not a my role thing, or I can be open with my father because we always had that relationship. So both of y'all, I watched that shit from a distance. I commend. When it comes to Gino, what you doing with all three boys, I know all of them are different, but you have levied your time, taught one of them kind of how to do music. Now he surpassed you. You know what I mean? The oldest, he's just a brainiac, so he been surpassed you on that. I'm just like, I'm just doing shit, you know. But and then just like teaching them all how to be their own selves, man. I can like all this shit is great, man, because we laugh and joke and shit, but social media, there's good shit in social media too. So when I see my boys doing good shit with their kids, like that's something rewarding because I know we don't just have a group of niggas that just talk about the same shit, drinking and, you know, messing around and all that.
Yeah, but also,
it's dope. Go ahead,
yeah,
Clint. Jump
also,
on
man, I do got to say that I did miss out. Yeah, I did miss out on a lot of shit because I was working a lot. So a lot of things with Kenzie, I did miss, and sometimes I'm like, I was at work. I wouldn't see her for like maybe a week at a time because I would work, and my schedule is when she's sleep. When she sleep, I'm at work. When I'm home, she's at school. So I miss a lot of stuff and a lot of things I did mess up with Kenzie. So I'm like, I try to make up for it, but you can't get that time back. And now she's older, and some stuff between me and her mom, she told her something that she shouldn't have told her. And it's like, so she kind of looked at me in the kind of way, but I was like, ain't nobody perfect. You know what I'm saying? I've messed up a lot. So I'm like, but I try not to do that around her. So, I try to keep it as much as I can with her. You know what I'm saying? So I do a lot then, and some shit I didn't do. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
ain't nobody perfect.
Go ahead.
But that's one of the things that honestly, in hindsight, they're gonna find they'll always find some fault in the things that we do, and a lot of things we do are just in the process of everyday life. You got to work, you got to pay bills, you're gonna miss time, you're gonna miss things. That's just a natural course of things, especially with all of us having been in or are in the military. And I think we put a lot of guilt on ourselves when we miss things because of work. But what they eventually learn, and you can take this and hold it close. She's gonna realize that, oh shit, my dad didn't choose to miss this stuff. It may feel like it when you miss things. Oh, he just don't want to be here. We don't have a choice when we get deployed. We don't have a choice when we got to go to work. We don't have a choice when these things pop up last minute and we have to be there. They don't want to hear that because they want what they want when they want it. And that's just natural. That's just how kids are. That's how we are about a lot of things. But just trust. You're going to have a conversation with your child one day. All of us, all of you guys will. Okay, I understand.
Shit, it's more than that too, because sometimes it's the relationship itself. Sometimes you don't have a choice in that. And I know for a fact, if Amanda and I would have tried to force it, it would have just been unhappiness. Sure, we would have stayed together for Jazzy. Maybe we would have even had one or two others, but then you just constantly made life more difficult because that's not where you're supposed to be. So I struggled with that for a long time, Pete, because one thing that I talk about, and I'm talking about in my next book, is it was so hard to raise Ace and be there for everything Ace was doing. and not be there for Jasmine. You know,
Right.
like I talked to Nisha about this, and sometimes it would even make us uncomfortable. But I felt like it's so hard to do, you know, everything I am for my stepson, who's definitely still my son, but my biological daughter, I'm not there for the bike rides, for, you know, her sporting events, whatever, you know, teaching her how to tie her shoe, all that. I missed that. And that shit crushed me, bro. Because I was like, there's no way for me to balance my time because of where I am. You know, and I never shorted Ace either. I never was like, oh, well, you know, Ace is just, you know, my stepkid, so I'm gonna just be half a father. No, I was Wilking the test. I was full-fledged with Ace, but at the same time, I couldn't be full-fledged with Jasmine. So it was a weird, uncomfortable place to be.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, man, you know, it is what it is, and I have to know that my daughter knows that in her heart, I did not, you know, shortchange her. I did all I could from my spot. So that's just real, you know. That's
And also,
no, I was just gonna say, man, like you touched on it a lot, Clyde, like trying to find that balance. Like it's hard, especially when, you know, you got kids, different relationships. Like, and you can almost attribute this to any type of relationship. Like people who are trying to be in, you know, multiple relationship, polygamous relationship, whatever you want to call it. Like there's no way you can give more than one person 100% of your time. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most difficult thing. But I think when it comes to parenting in general, we just have to, you know, pay attention to ourselves and the situations and try not to be selfish. Try not to be selfish and just, you know, you got to key in on those moments, like, you know, what makes your child happy. You know what I'm saying? If they're happy here, then you got to try to take yourself out of those certain situations. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it comes to those conversations. And I can honestly say, again, I learned a lot from, you know, all you guys. And I've also learned a lot with just, you know, being there for my nieces. That also kind of helped me travel through or, you know, go along these last 5 years with Layla. Is just, you know, the experiences I've had with, you know, seeing you guys with your kids, you know, helping, you know, raise my nieces, my nephews, things like that, and just being around them for those years that I was up until having Layla. And I can honestly say, man, like being out in the military was a blessing. Like having her and being out of the military was a blessing, because who knows what my relationship with her would be like had I been in the military and, you know, probably been, you know, traveling somewhere. Like, I honestly think that, you know, these last 5 years, and of course, I tell everybody, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. Like, you know, things that happen in the military, you know, as to me getting out, and I honestly think if I would have, you know, re-enlisted, retested, and all that other stuff, I probably would have ended up being kicked out. So, you know, it's just, you know, everything happened for a reason. Where my attitude was, it was like, you know, the military wasn't for me anymore, and, you know. Finding out, you know, I told my commander and them that I wasn't going to re-enlist. A couple weeks later, found out Ed was pregnant, and it was like, you know, well, this is the journey that I'm going to take. Yeah. It's probably best that these things lined up the way they did, and yeah. So.
That's true, man, because two deployments in 2 years, that changed a lot. I lost a lot of ground with the positive stuff I was doing with Ace doing the first one. And then, of course, now Jordan's in my life and like missing out that. So basically, you know, if you do the math with all my deployments and the time that I was gone, I've been out of his life like almost 18 months. So that shit is tough just to think mentally. 18 months, he ain't been around me, you know. So you're right, man. I look forward to when I get out. And though the older two will be, you know, adults at that time, he'll still be relatively young, 7.5, 8 years old. Yeah. I'm like, I can be there as much as I can, man. So as we come to the end, P, I'm going to let you close us out, man. I'm going to speak to all of us, even all the ones that are not here that are in our group. You give us some words of wisdom to live by as we close out this Father's Day special.
I love this because it dispels the myth, you know, first and foremost, that Black men are not involved in their kids' lives. I've always hated that stigma. And one of the reasons that I love all of you guys and everybody else in our group, you know, our intimate, close friends, are because you guys care about the people that you care about. You love your kids, you love your families. You know, that's always resonated with me because that's always been something that's important to me. Just because, you know, we're Black men, we can be vulnerable. We can love our kids. We can raise our kids in the best way possible. We can be considerate. We can be compassionate. We can love. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate these moments that we build together as brothers.
That's real, man. Well, I appreciate everybody's time. I'm gonna let y'all go around and say y'all closing remarks. I appreciate everybody's time, but we got to do this more often where it's just not like Father's Day, like topics that make sense for y'all. We got to bring that to the group and y'all tell us if y'all want to speak about it, because this is actually dope. I like having this many people on. So I appreciate y'all time. I want y'all to enjoy your Father's Day, but I'll start with you, Gino. Any closing remarks?
Nah, man, just everybody, y'all, you know, let's take this podcast, this session as, you know, learning tool, and we each learn from each other. And you know, just keep doing y'all things. I love all y'all.
Appreciate you, man. Clink, I'm gonna go to you. Next time we have you on, you're gonna get you some headphones or something. I'm tired of all this goddamn background. You got any closing
Shut up,
remarks?
man. Ain't no background noise in here. Ain't nothing to me. Nah, man. I like this joint, man. I've been wanting to get on y'all show, so I finally got my ticket to get on. But nah, I appreciate y'all, man. I love the group we in, and it's all positive, and you and everybody fussing be cracking me up. So I like it, man. Love y'all. Hope y'all have a blessed day.
Appreciate you. All right, Will, round to you, man. Your closing remarks.
Yep, man. You know, of course, it's all love. I appreciate, you know, all y'all for, you know, being the brothers that you guys are to me and have been to me for these last year, man, long time, over a decade.
17 years, Will. God damn.
Yeah.
You ugly.
But, you know, but yeah, man, I appreciate every last one of y'all, man. And I want to touch on this too, man. A lot of people don't know, but Gino is not only a boy of three, a father of three boys, but he's also a great dog father too.
Oh, hell yeah. Teddy a beast.
Because Teddy is something else. But I just wanted to throw that out there, man. I love y'all. Happy Father's Day. And I look forward to, you know, having more conversations as we always do.
Word. Yeah, man. I'm a okay father to my dog, but that nigga ain't got no skills. Teddy can bring in groceries.
Teddy got skills, boy.
Teddy can do all kind of shit. Matter of fact, before you get out of here, Gino, come back on and just tell us about Teddy, man.
Well, I mean,
Teddy have you looking at your dog sideways.
Yeah, I look at Manny all the time. You don't do shit, fam.
I'm telling you, hey,
Father's Day this morning.
Y'all need to get. I'm an advocate for doodles, man. Any type of doodle, golden doodle, Bernie doodle, any type of doodle, man.
I ain't got doodle money, but I feel.
Hey, come on, you got it, bro. Like those junkers, their thought process is just on another level, man. So yeah, get your doodle.
Yeah, man. Teddy has some amazing videos. When he's bringing them groceries in, I almost put Manny outside. Like, gotta do something. But you gotta do like my wife about to come back with groceries. He just gonna look at her like, I don't know. Like,
no, when Teddy went to the refrigerator and knew exactly where the seasoning stuff was, that had me.
Too.
I'm like, come on, bro.
All right, Big P, what you got? Closing remarks, man.
Man, hey, I look, like I said, man, Teddy had me looking at my dog sideways, bro. Every time I see a video Gino posts somewhere, I'm like, oh my God, it's embarrassing. What have I done to deserve the dog that I have? No, don't get me wrong. I love my dog. I love Shadow, man. I love Shadow, but I'm jealous because Gino has a dog that virtually talks to him.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Literally talks to him.
It's fucking crazy.
But closing remarks, happy Father's Day, man. I love you guys, and you guys are my intimate family. I want you to know that. You know, you guys mean the world to me, and I'm honored to call you guys my brothers, and I'm proud of the fathers that you all are.
I appreciate that, man. Well, my little closing sentiment. I mean, this podcast, you guys have been very supportive since the beginning. Thank you for pushing me and P. We try to do what we can to get better each and every time. This platform where we can have multiple brothers on at once, that's awesome. Like I said before, I don't want this to just become like a Father's Day ritual. We got to do this more throughout each season. I'm definitely proud of everybody. Who am I to say that? But honestly, man, like I know where I lack as a father. And if anybody ever wants to have an intimate conversation, I'll definitely tell you all my failures. But as I watch all of my brothers and friends, you know, be awesome and do shit, man, y'all inspire me. You know, y'all inspire me to close gaps that I've had in certain relationships with my kids and try to get better and have more patience, because I lack that shit. Like you said, Will, I lack it. I still lack it. And I can snap in a heartbeat. And that sometimes can be very, very damaging to our relationships with our children. So I learned from y'all, man. So this has been See on the Doctor Father's Day special. To all the fathers out there doing right by their children, enjoy your day. Kick your feet up. Don't do shit. It's your day. Drink a drink. I'm over here on an empty stomach drinking nears. Probably gonna be sick in the bitch. But it's all good. We only get one day. Don't fire up no barbecue. This ain't your day to work. Take a stance. All right, take a stance.
Call of Duty, anybody?
Yeah, Call of Duty something. I'm gonna get on Xbox myself, man. So
Let's hook it up. Let's go.
So to the next one, man. This is being See on the Doctor. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good one. Happy Father's Day.
Father's
All right,
Day.
fellas. Happy Father's Day.